you received a Google review for your business, or if you encounter a Google review on a business that is inappropriate, you can report that review to Google to have them potentially take that review down. Now, if you're going to do this, there's a few things you need to know. First of all, whether or not they'll actually take it down, so you don't want to waste your time, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'll just go to, I'll search for hardware store near me and look at some of the reviews for a local hardware store. So I'll go to hardware stores near me, and then I'll go over here to places. So let's just say that I decide that this store, I'll look at their reviews, and let's just say I go through the reviews and I find one that's just really inappropriate or wrong, and I want to report that review because I just feel like there's something that does not meet Google's guidelines, right? So when I go through here, and I'll just sort for some of the 1-star reviews so I can see. So I'll just click here on lowest. And let's just say that I found this review was really unhelpful, right? And inappropriate for whatever reason. So I can go over here to these 3 buttons and I can click on this report review. And what Google's going to do is it's going to allow me to open up a report or review thing. Now I'm logged into my Google account. So you probably want to sign in to do this. And then it's going to give you a list of different things or reasons why you could report a review on a business page, right? Including not helpful. But here's what you want to know before you waste your time and send this in. Google is going to go through a manual review process and decide whether or not, from their perspective as an objective third party, whether or not it actually is meeting this criteria. So they do have a page, which I'll link to in here, where you can read more about each of these different reasons you could report a review and decide whether or not you think it actually meets that criteria. So it gives a little bit of information here about prohibited and restricted content in reviews, and then it has it broken down into civil discourse, deceptive content, mature content, regulated, dangerous, or illegal content, and then information quality, right? And so you can go in here, and under each one of these, if you click on the little arrow, it's going to show you a little bit about the reasons or the way that they were going to use the criteria to determine whether or not the review that you reported meets that criteria, right? So you can go down through and you can search and look and try to understand what each of these means and whether or not yours fits it. So some of you, if you're a business owner, you may want to look at like the off-topic ones, right? So misinformation. There's some COVID related things here. There's advertising soliciting, people trying to solicit themselves on yours, or gibberish or repetitive content, posting that. So there are reasons here that obviously, these reviews should not be on people's business pages if it meets this criteria. But just because you don't like a review doesn't mean that Google is going to agree and say that it doesn't have value. It does need to meet one of these criteria. But by going, again, I just found the business. I'm in the Google Maps section here. I found the review, and then I clicked on these 3 buttons, and I'm going to click on this report review. And then it's going to let me walk through this process and submit it based on which criteria I feel like it falls under. So you're going to want to, get yourself familiar with the criteria so you put it on the right place. And then also before, you waste your time trying to report reviews, make sure that, objectively, and you might want to bounce this off of somebody else, get their perspective, whether that review meets this criteria for being inappropriate to be on a Google business profile page. But if it does meet that criteria, after a few days and after Google goes through the review process, hopefully, especially if it's meeting any of this criteria, Google will side with that and remove the review. So that's basically how you report a review on a Google business profile that deserves to be reported.